Al and I both saw this, and
I got to tell you, there was only one screening that I could see this at, and it was 9:30 in the morning.
oh my
That was the
God.
only screening every day, 9:30. And let's just say there's a reason, because my theater was full of senior citizens who really wanted to see this movie.
Well, that kind of tells you. We'll get to some comments after we talk about this film. And then at 10 a.m., we have a special guest joining us, the director of Icons Unearthed. So there you go. Let's get into it. The Forgiven. Alan, what's the story of The Forgiven? And you should check out the trailer for this movie. It stars Ray Fiennes and Jessica Chastain. You know what? I'll just tell the story real quick so we can get into the fun aspect. It's Ray Fiennes, Jessica Chastain. They are a married couple that is bickering. They don't seem to like each other very much. They're very wealthy, and they're somewhere in the Middle East going to a party put on by a character played by Matt Smith, who's very gay in this. He's very overtly gay. He and his, I don't know, husband, lover, whatever, very gay, getting other rich people together for a posh party in the middle of the desert in the Middle East, surrounded by dangerous, like, terrorists and this and whatever. And it's sort of in the middle of, it's weird, all this opulence, and it's the midst. Now, there is a tribe within this desert that collects and makes money from fossils, and they sell them to tourists, right? They dig them up and will sell them for a small amount of money. That small amount of money is like, 6 months pay to them. Okay. So what ends up happening is Ray Fiennes, he's been drinking a lot as he's on his way to this party, and he just driving through the desert and hits somebody who comes out on the road to sell them the fossils and kills that person. He wants to cover up the accidental death. He takes the identification out of the pocket of this boy. He's like in his early 20s, and buries it and throws the body in the car, drives to the party with the dead body, and then is like, okay, well, what do I do? What do I do? Well, it was an accident. You're fine. We'll talk to the authorities. They'll clear it up. Well, then what ends up happening is the father of the boy that was killed comes to Ray Fiennes and says, you're going to come with me. Like, basically he thinks he's being shaken down for money, right? Like, okay, I killed your son. All right, I'll give you money. He doesn't want to give them any money. It's like, it was an accident. It's not my fault. He popped in the middle of the road and then it's not my fault. It's not my fault. So then he goes with the father of the deceased boy to go to bury him in a funeral, and it's the tension is palpable. The tension is palpable during all of this travel, and like what is going to happen? What could possibly happen? It's just, you can cut the tension with a knife. While this is happening, Jessica Chastain is just partying her ass off with all the dudes back there. And so it's sort of like you're cutting back and forth between what Ray Fiennes is experiencing, what Jessica Chastain is good. It feels like the actors in this movie didn't care about this movie. They were all like, fuck it, I'm just going to be in a different movie. It's you know
what it was? They were all promised a trip to Morocco.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what you thought. I'll say this. I saw this in a theater. It was the last screening of it before it left. I think it's on video on demand now. The Forgiven. Or
you can watch it at 9:30 in the morning in Orange County.
Did I say The Forgotten earlier? Oh my God.
I'm not sure. It's The Forgiven.
I'm sorry, folks. I'm only on one cup of coffee. Woke up late today. So it's just, here's the thing. So much of what's happening in the movie is deadly serious, but you're laughing because it's so ridiculous. It's just, now I kind of at the end was just like, okay, that wasn't as bad as the trailer. The trailer looks awful, right? It wasn't as bad as the trailer makes it out to be. At the same time, there are instances that are supposed to be taken deadly seriously that I laughed out loud about how ridiculous they were. In particular, what was happening with Jessica Chastain's character, which I was surprised. There's like this sex scene with her where she is just going for it. I kind of feel like she's going for it. She's wearing like these boots, these sexy boots, and having like an affair with this dude, and you're like, oh my god, like it reminded me of like one of those Skinamax movies. You know, you so rarely see, you know, those kind of films these days, right? Like a sexy, like, oh, it's past midnight, what's on HBO? And it's like a terrible, or Cinemax. You're like, what is on? Wait, is Cinemax even around? I don't even think Cinemax is around.
Well, there's no more Skinamax on Cinemax.
There's no more Skinamax, yeah. But yeah, no, it reminded me of like, oh god, this is a scene right out of an old Skinamax thing. But it was cheesy. I can't recommend this movie unless you want to see, you specifically want to see a movie that is not good, which can be fun. It can be fun. So all I can say is, Alan, what were your thoughts on the film? And then we'll get the comments. We have our interview in about 5 minutes. But real quick, before we do that, is almost 300 watching live. Slap that like button. Slap it. You know you can do it. You know you want to do it. And subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed.
Oh, wow.
There you go. Alan, what were your thoughts?
Yeah. You know, part of me going through this was, how in the hell did this movie get made? You know, what was it that made investors want to put money into this? And I really feel like that they got all these high-powered actors because it was a trip to Morocco. That said, I did like Ray Fiennes. He's pretty good in terms of this conflicted white privileged man who has to atone for his sins, so to speak. And I think that there's that theming of forgiveness that kind of plays out through. But yeah, you know, it was such a mediocre movie, and the only good thing about it is you had high-powered actors delivering okay dialogue, and you know, that's interesting, but you know, it's instantly forgettable. You know, I appreciate where it was going, but you know, and I think it wanted to hit on themes of forgiveness, but it just kind of is such a downer. It's one of these movies where you hope that it gets hopeful at the end, but it basically is a commentary on the human condition, and especially the fact that this is very much a colonizer movie where the white people come into Morocco, take over these precious landmarks and historical artifacts of the Moroccans. They're living in a mansion while the other main character lives in basically a hole dug in the ground. And, you know, and it just really sets up, you know, white people bad, everyone else good. And, you know, we've seen this a lot, and this is not that remarkable of a movie.
I would agree with you, Alan, but it's one of those things that's kind of fun if you, I like a good bad movie, and I would not have seen this unless my friend Eric Weber was just like, we got to see it. It's the last day it's playing in theaters. It's going to be gone. Let's just all go. It was like a Wednesday night. I'm like, all right, fine, I'll go. And we just sat there and kind of made fun of it while we were watching it. So here we go here. Toxic Waltz N8. Good to have you back. Last thing I saw in the theaters was The Black Phone. And I hear we're due for slim pickings for the remainder of the summer. That's right, actually. The last two movies, or excuse me, the last two big tentpole movies are going to be Nope, which I'm seeing on Tuesday. So we'll talk about Nope next week. And then it's Bullet Train in August, and that's it. So having said that, we're going to be talking about other movies that are opening in theaters, indie films and whatnot. So we will keep you up to date with like new films opening in theaters and indie films that are worth watching. Mm-hmm. So definitely like watch us for that. But also we're going to be, we have our big trial coming up. So keep watching the Film Threat YouTube channel. We have our trial Critics Court. And I don't want to say too much about it, but we have been mapping it out and planning it out. And I'm very excited that we're going to be pivoting to that right after Comic-Con. We're going to start the show in August. So maybe slim pickings at the theater, but not on the Film Threat YouTube channel. So there you go. Daniel says, if 200 slap the like, then maybe we can get an Alan slapping his naked chest clip. You know what? Just because
No, we need to hit
very kind. I'm going to do that anyway. What's weird is whenever that comes on, I never watch it. I watch Alan's face. The more fun thing to do is when we play that clip of Alan playing the Star Wars theme on his bare chest, I just look at Alan's face. What's funny is how stone cold your face is. So let's see. Scott Slaughterbeck says, a trip of Morocco and sex. How could she resist? Legally curated. This is a review you can smell. And Girthy Guitar says, is it a better white privilege movie than Beavis and Butthead? It definitely brings up like privilege and class and stuff like
Absolutely,
that. It's not, I wouldn't say, I mean, it's sort of like, look, it's, you know, wokeness is kind of something you can't avoid now. You have to discuss it, right? But I think the more discussion that I see is people mocking it and making fun of it and sort of like rolling their eyes rather than taking it seriously.
Yeah, I mean, it's essentially that's what this movie is. It's the rich white people versus the, you know, the poor servants who are Moroccan.
Right. It's definitely
and that's all over this movie.
Agent 57,000 DM, I forgive you that you forgot The Forgiven. CD Stein 69, I've seen this trailer. Sounds like the movie is as horrible as the trailer. Yeah, it's horrible, but let me for a second. It's horrible, but if you go into it with a certain mindset, you'll have fun because it's like when a movie takes itself too seriously and it sort of gets around to almost satire. And then there are parts of it and then the ending also is just sort of ridiculous.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what I'm saying is, you know, it kind of deals with the title of the movie, and I don't feel like it says anything about the title.